Playmates show. At any point, shout out the questions, critiques, if you have the burning need, whatever it is, burning, shout out, whatever. But we'll have time for questions at the end. So let us take you through a lot of fun stuff. Start with a little sizzle film. Thanks, guys. It was just a little flashback of Turtles past, and then today's panel we're going to take you through some of the Turtles from the past. Focus a lot on the progress that's out there now, that's been out there in the last year and a half, what's coming out in the next year or so. But by all means, we wanted to introduce you to a huge team that's been a part of the Turtles, as I said in the description of this panel, ever since Turtles first hit Toy-Dome. So I'll go through and introduce everybody here from Playmates Toys, who has been a lead toy licensee since the Turtles began. And introduce you to who's here, give you a chance not only to talk about today's toy line, but if you got any questions about all the stuff in the past, the guys here are the guys who did it. And we're going to be pretty informal and roasted up like those of you who know us know we normally do. So let me introduce myself there. I'm Jeff Trojan. I have been at Playmates since 1993. I don't get full credit for that because I did leave twice. But that's my main claim to fame with Turtles, other than this current round of Turtles. And I did come back in 1997 and kill the Turtle line during the Savant's next mutation. So that's what I did, was continue for the line. We all have kind of a spirit animal of one of the Turtles as our muse. Mine is Donatello. Yes, if I feel a bit nerdy, I'm awkward talking to girls, and I sort of get stick. Oh, sorry. We're also going to flash some of our great product from the past here. Not only at Playmates have we worked on great Turtle stuff, but for myself, I worked on Chicken Run and one of the most original chicken pot pie throwers out there. And if you need a Roy Scheider action figure, Sequest had a great one. Very few were made, few were even sold, so good stuff.
Jeff, the store wreck underwater. How did that fail?
So next up here, a man who needs very little introduction, our Chief Turtle Officer, Carl Aronian, who we call Carl joined Playmates in 1986. He did leave twice, but that was, unfortunately, that's before the Turtles came to be. So he was there for all the original pitches, the original incarnation of the Turtles and things like that. So that's the good news. On the other side, he brought us Toxic Crusaders. Birthday party Turtles and the flush-o-matic, which proves that even your fetishes can lead to toys on shop.
All classes.
And Pat Linden, the honor of the group. Pat's worked on some great product at Playmates, Baseball, Terminator 4. Terminator 4, right?
Yeah, Terminator 4. Gill Stick, Eon Kid. And the reason why none of these products work is because these guys sitting here, they wouldn't listen to me on my great ideas, and that's why they all failed. So.
Let's do show our failures before we get on with the good stuff. All right, and there's Chris Shredder, leader of the Foot Planet K. Chris is with Playmates since 2008, leading this launch since before the product came out, working with Pat on that. Pat, by the way, I'm sorry I missed the big introduction. As you know, with Playmates since 1998, 15 years straight, and he has not left, so
nobody else
knows that. Chris has some great product too. Shrek, 4 or 3, what was that? I don't know. Next up, in the middle, we have John, Michelangelo Stelzner. John, he's back in the second tour of Duty and Playmates, but he joined originally in 1998 also. He's got great product like a Grinch plush with a terribly placed Trimey. Let's get off that. Then there's Ray Guinan, who goes by Raphael. I don't think anything funny or embarrassing to say about Ray because he goes by Raphael. Makes no introduction. But Ray has been working with Playmates since freelancing around 1991. He's been with the company again since 1998, about 15 years. And it's been a designer of a lot of turtle stuff. One thing we're going to do after showing all the product that's collectible now is tease you with some of Ray's sketchbooks in the past, stuff that never made it into production, but it's good behind the scenes of what these creative guys do.
Ray also designed and practically engineered one of our best action figure lines, Exo Squad.
This is great. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Carl, who's going to take you through a bit of Playmates history with turtles, Playmates Turtles history. So, for those of you who might not be familiar with the timeline, going back decades, we just wanted to take you through that before we take you through today's product.
So we'll zip through this. I'll try not to suck all the energy out of the room. It all started, I think, as most of you know, in 1984 with Eastman and Laird, and with their first comic book, black and white, because they put the forward color, and they started quite a trend in black and white comics. Number one indie comic at the time, and they were selling about 100,000 copies a month. And honestly, I think if they could have just made a living publishing, or creating and publishing comic books, they would have been happy campers. Two very different guys, two really good guys, and from that point forward, once we started developing toys, we would travel out, to the Mecca, Northampton, Massachusetts, and present the toy line every year for their lesson. So, it's a great relationship. 87, we basically signed up, and we developed the toy line, and we went on a cross-country road trip to sell the line in. And you know how you always hear about how things are overnight successes? Turtles was not an overnight success. It was a road trip from, there's kids here. Yeah, it was, we had retailers kicking us out of their offices. We had retailers telling us this was the absolute worst idea they'd ever seen. And really the fault was our own because we were not bringing to life what made Turtles special, which besides these great personalities, there was that unique dose of humor that no other action figure line had, except those whiskers. Have to acknowledge that. And then at the end of '87, we launched a mini-series, 5 episodes. It was between Christmas and New Year's of '88, and it did reasonably well enough to repeat throughout '88, and basically buy us a few more episodes in late '88, and by fall '88, we introduced the toy line. And again, ratings, once the regular weekly series hit, were stellar, and this was in syndication, so this was literally cleared market or city by city, but in those days you could do it. There were enough independent stations, and it just took off like a rocket. And the toys from day one did take off. So that was '88, and 1990 was the peak. That was a combination of a TV show that was on every day, and the first Turtle movie, which ended up being the most successful indie film of all time, until Blair Witch hit a number of years later. And I forget the box office, $130-something million in the U.S. And to put it in perspective, we're not going to talk about sales, but this one is a big one, is worldwide units that were shipped of turtle figures and accessories with 100 million units. So it was, one of the retailers told us, I don't know if it's urban myth or whether it's true, that they rank their top SKUs every year, and it's usually candy, of course, Snickers bars. And in 1990, we actually finished ahead of Snickers bars. So, pretty wild. 91 and 93, we had movie 2 and 3. Personally, I didn't like movie 2, but movie 3 was fun. And then 94 was okay. 2003, the new Kids TV series, which eventually did make it onto Cartoon Network. March of 07, you had the new CG movie. And kind of obvious, I know, but as you can see, when you have really well-made content, whether it's a TV show or a movie, the toys follow along quite nicely. And 2009 really is the key, because that's when the IP, the property, basically changed hands from the Turtle creators, Mirage Studios, to Viacom. And when you think about it, and we're thankful for all the success over the years, but you never really had a major partner on the entertainment side. And now you have Nickelodeon, who is honestly one of the rare partners who deliver everything they promised. A great show, marketing behind the show, and then you have their sister group, Paramount, who's making what we think is a killer movie. So we launched in July or so, 2012, and the immediate success caught us off guard because we really hadn't aired, not really, they hadn't aired the TV show yet, and we already saw that there was a lot of pent-up demand by the longtime fans, thank you, as well as kids. So, totally winning property of the year for Nickelodeon, totally winning Boys Toy of the year for the Good Guy Group Vehicle Shellraiser, and then dozens of enthusiast awards, which what's next? What's going on in 2014? Lots of new creative executions, new directions, new themes. I think we're going to be very happy with what we're going to see over the next few years, and what we're most excited about is, unlike maybe the old days, nobody has fallen into a formula where you almost feel like you're watching the same episode day in and day out. So we're doing a lot of exciting things. Obviously, the new TV series, or new season hitting end of September 13, and then of course season 3, fall 14, and of course the movie in June of 2014. A couple of things you may not know about, we're going to product now, is the San Diego Comic-Con Shredder, which we're very excited about. So it is what we call Shredder 2. Available at the Nickelodeon booth, and it is our first shredder, at least with this new launch, with a removable helmet, on a collector base, and with really beautiful metallized armor. So I think they'll be thrilled by what you see with the San Diego Comic-Con shredder, and so that's the exclusive product for this year. And then we get into the classic collection. So the first one up are the 6-inch figures with the 34 points of articulation, and you guys have seen before. Another one that caught us a little off guard. We were very short last year when we first launched the 4 turtles, but they are shipping again right now. So it's not like we pulled it and retired it forever. And then coming up after the 4 turtles, and by the way, guys, when you see, we're going to show you a bunch of images for the fall 13, spring 14 line. We give you the images that we have. A lot of these won't do it justice, because, for instance, these two guys are just amazing when you see them in person. They'll also have, I forget, 30-something points of articulation, beautiful deco, and again, I think it's our best team up and rock steady ever. And then after that, but I don't think we ever did justice to it. So I'm the first to say our original movie One Turtles were nice for the day, but really cheesy versus what you have here, which really is, basically replicates what Jim Henson did with the costumes. So I think it's beautifully done. We'll have all 4 turtles. This was the first one we finished. And again, lots of articulation, looks really lifelike. So that will be part of that 6-inch assortment going into the movie in 2014. Then we are utilizing our original molds to relaunch a handful of classic collection turtles. These are the original 4-inch turtles at one of our retailers. And they're going to kick off with 3 different SKUs of assortments. So the first one will be the basic figure assortment, and that will be 6 figures. So the 4 turtles, Splinter and Shredder, soon to be followed by Foot Soldier and Krang. And we'll keep adding to that one. And then you can't do without the original good guy vehicle, which is the Party Wagon. And again, off the original molds, we have refreshed all the packaging so that they have a common look to them. Although we are using the original illustration and photo on the front panel, kids probably 35 now. And then the last item is the Mech Wreckers, actually, from 2004. But, you know what, this person liked turtles and mechs, so so that will be the 3rd one, and just look out for early 14 because we'll have a lot of additions to the classic collection, both the newly tooled 6-inch as well as utilizing the original molds.
All right, thanks, Carl. We're going to turn it over to Pat. First one to, Pat's going to cover kind of our current animated product, but first I wanted to show you a great film not all of you might have seen that was created by our friends at Nickelodeon, The Future Star, actually.
So now we look at what's coming out, or what's, what we launched with, and what's coming out throughout 2014. And the great thing about Turtles is that it truly is an action figure line. And by the end of 14, we'll have over 50 different action figures available in the marketplace. I don't think there's too many other brands out there that can state that. So, obviously we launched with the 4 Turtles. You had Splinter, Shredder, the Krang, Foot Soldier, as well as April, which launched in August of last year. Followed that with we had the Ooze figures, which launched in spring of 13. And then we followed that with Leatherhead, Snake, and the infamous Baxter Stockman. And what will be hitting the shelves in the very near future are these Stealth Tech Turtles, the Rat King, as well as Cockroach Terminator. Then the Turtles in Training 2-pack, which is very, very cool. Another version of Shredder 2 with removable helmets, as well as the Monster 7-pack, and everybody's favorite Spider-Man. And then we go back to Turtles again, in spring of 14 with the Battle Shell Turtles, where the back shells actually open up and you are able to store the accessories in the back.
afterwards, if you want to walk up and tell us if there's figures that you think we should be doing or that we missed out on, just let us know, because we'd love that feedback.
In terms of the launch figures, we launched the brand with the power sound effects, where you pull on the arms and the legs, hear the turtle phrases and sound effects. Follow that up with the flingers, where Mikey and Leonardo fling the disc out the chest and down and wrap, fling their weapons over the shoulder. And we'll be following that up with throwing battle, which are very cool. We pull the arms and the legs up, throw them onto the tabletop, they spring to their feet, unveil their weapons, and are ready to battle. Then we go to the giant figures, which we have the 11-inch battle cell turtles. Again, fully articulated, 11 inches tall, open the back shells, place the weapons inside the back shell. And new, which will be hitting retailers soon, are the Mojo figures in the 11-inch scale. In their ninja outfits, ready for battle.
All right, thanks, Matt. I'll turn it over to John Stelzner. He's going to take you in a softer direction of collecting figures. John, good stuff.
Yeah, so starting fall this year, we're going to be introducing our Ninja Practice Pals. They're 50-inch plush figures that have the feature as you're sparring and practicing your ninja moves on them. You'll hear the key phrases from each of the turtles along with some fighting sounds as well. And then basic vehicles. We first introduced the skateboard and the Rip and Rider as our first basic vehicles. And now expanding into the Dropcopter and the Ooze Cruiser. And then new for this fall will be the MMX Cycle and the Hover Drone. And then for spring 14, the Grass Kicker and the Shell Flyer. So it'll be another way for the turtles to battle the foot impact. We also have our vehicles of figure. The Stealth Cycle, seen in the show, and the Dragon Chopper with the foot soldier. And then new for fall this year, the Ninja AT3 with an exclusive Leo figure. And then for spring 14, the Turtle Sub, which you've seen probably in the new show. And that's going to come with an exclusive Diver Dawn figure. And then troop vehicles. Most of you know the Shell Razor very well. This is the one we won the Toy of the Year award for this last year. It's the main turtle vehicle, full of ninja action. And then for fall of this year, we're going to be introducing our first RC vehicle.
Yeah.
Not only is this a full-feature RC, but with a press of a button on the remote, you'll also be able to fire the manhole-covered discs, all of the old pizza thrower with the Shell Razor.
All right, let's turn it over to Chris Cage to take us through the remainder of the line. Chris?
So now we're moving to playsets, and obviously we did the playsets. We wanted to make it a massive playset. There's not that many playsets out there anymore. We wanted to put as many features as possible in this playset. And obviously you can see just by looking at all the various features that there is a lot to do with this playset. Definitely warrants it because it is the main headquarters for the turtles.
If you have any issues assembling this massive playset, Chris will leave his phone number.
It does take a little bit to assemble, but obviously there is an instructional video on our website. Playmates that
that was really brilliant. That was really smart. Oh, seriously.
Then we move into Roleplay. The first is the basic ninja gear Roleplay, obviously very iconic. We have each of the signature weapons for the turtles and their favorite or specific colored bandana, coupled with a couple throwing stars. And this actually got off to a huge start, and now we're actually seeing it fully in stock, so it's definitely going to be around for a while. And of course we did Leonardo's electronic sword. What's unique about this is it actually has the real character's voice, Jason Biggs, in the audio And there's two ways to play, a battle mode and also a training mode that Leonardo will actually teach you how to use the katana. And of course we have the Turtle Con, which appears in the TV show, and we also have 4 specific turtle voices in there, and each one plays with their personality, such as Leonardo will actually take you on a mission, Raphael will teach you some ninja moves, Mikey will actually tell you some jokes such as, how do you fix a broken pizza? With tomato paste. And of course, Donatello, being Brainiac, will actually give you some trivia about the turtles as well. Then we have some ooze. Oh, yeah. There's a couple different colors, so don't ooze home without it. And for this fall, we're coming out with some Lunch Max. And we actually have an assortment of 4 turtles, and then later this fall, we'll also be rolling Shredder's mask into it as well. Because who doesn't love Shredder? Yeah. And for the first time for African Playmates, we're doing a battle shell. What's unique about this is that these holsters that are on the back are compatible with any of the basic ninja gear that kids or yourself have already bought. And there's a handle on the inside that can double as a shield as well. So new for spring 14, we're going to come out with electronic turtle hands. We're calling them the i3 hands. As in the TV show, all the turtles say i3. So now we have electronic hands with audio programmed inside. That actually has an impact sensor, so if you i3 someone, it'll give you unique phrases and sound effects. Also for spring 14, we have some water weapons. We have a katana and nunchucks that you actually soak up some water and sprays out up to a 30-foot spray of water. Also for spring, we have walkie-talkies. These will be real working walkie-talkies that work up to 200 feet. Also has some unique graphics and look like a turtle com. Yeah! Also has some bob hands, bob bags. Round out the turtle experience for roleplay. For this year, we're also having a Ninja Blaster. This is a turtle hand that actually comes with 6 soft foam discs, Ninja Stars, shortens, that you actually load up into the chamber, and actually, the quicker you pull, the quicker they fire. And the last item we have is the soft foam role play, so if there's any live action ninja role players out there, we actually have some soft foam weapons that are actually a little bit softer, safer, and fun to play with. And of course, we actually have a lot more product coming out for fall next year that we're definitely working on that we can't share with right now.
Give us a hand. Or do we have to wait for PowerCon?
But probably the biggest surprise for us since the relaunch in 2012 is just how massive the roleplay segment has been. Because it really caught us off guard at the beginning, and we've been playing catch-up ever since. And I don't know, maybe the second one is just the popularity of the giant figures as well, which was always in the past kind of a secondary category for turtles, but it's one of the core categories now.
All right, before we get into Q&A and just open it up to the floor and things like that, we're going to take you through just some interesting stuff that happened during the development of Turtles. As I said, Ray's been here since, whatever I said, 98 or whatever, and been working on every incarnation of the Turtles. Some of the stuff we're going to show now was, I believe, developed in the last 4 to 6 years as the Run of the Turtles was getting underway. And our guys just started doing some sketching and stuff. So Ray, tell us what we're looking at here.
How you guys doing? Thanks for coming. Pretty exciting stuff we're working on. We're hoping to see it come to fruition. And this is an automatic shooting mechanism to shoot ooze in full body clips. So it was one of the concepts for a basic deluxe figure line. And they would have different versions of each. Shot different color ooze. So basically a turtle version of paintball. Basically, this is a roleplay version of it, where you had a fully automatic type of Gatling gun that utilizes the same type of fusion. So essentially a different way of delivering news. Instead of pointing or throwing, you can actually shoot it with air power. So we're still considering it, but it was more of a fun concept at the time. Just some early vehicle sketches we were working on, just basically trying to understand what the prang looked like and how the prang vehicles could work. And, basically mechanized type machines that they became actually integrated with. And these early concept sketches of how they develop, and basically they plugged into the machine. This is another vehicle we're working on where it actually has a feature internally. It actually, I can explain what it does, but it's pretty fun mechanism. You pull back, this thing flips over, it actually takes off at 4 speed. Again, it's where the lower point where we're trying to capture this kind of unique, kind of techy, but also kind of buildable. This is another vehicle that we thought would be pretty fun. It's an escape vehicle, and there's a few of our sketches associated with this, but basically what it is it reconfigures its body, and it can actually arch up like an insect. The hatch opens, and you can actually jump into it like a fireman coming down a slide, and it actually takes off after the figure jumps into it. This is a vehicle that we thought would be pretty cool. It's actually a crane vehicle, and it's called the Crusher. And basically what it was a way for you to go through the sewer pipes or through the city and actually scoop up the figures and actually pull them into the machine, push it through the machine and store it in the back, and then be dumped out at a later time. It's a pretty mechanized thing. This is a vehicle that actually was associated with that, and this is a type of reverb vehicle, collector. This type of vehicle had insect type qualities to it where it could actually operate in the sewer system, either flat on the surface or on the walls or on the sides of the walls, because it could expand its body and contract it and fit tightly into the sewer, so it basically could spin through the sewer. Had a way of collecting figures in the front point and then actually delivering them to the crusher. So it was this concept of this whole kind of a world kids to interact with.
All right, so what did you all think there? There's a lot of design, work, drawing constantly, and some of the stuff doesn't come to fruition. Trying some ways to play with your action figures and experience the world of turtles. Good stuff. All right, well, I think there's a microphone in the center. If you all want to take turns, jump back there. We'll take a few questions. I'll throw a few in here sooner or later, but let's see where it goes from here. Take advantage of this free-for-all. You got guys here who have been designing turtles for 20+ years. Happy to answer anything about this year's line, et cetera, et cetera. You were in the middle of the Superman trip.
Thanks, guys. First question is, how much is that Comic-Con credit?
Comic-Con shredder, average more.
32.
Who's number? 412.
113.
413. All right, next question, the ones that are coming out in 2014, is that by chance for the new movie coming out?
We haven't shown anything for the movie. It seems very likely we do a fantastic product line based on that wonderful movie. So we'll wait for information on that very soon.
Nice, thanks guys.
The different colored boots, are those going to have a little minifigure with them?
There are, we got 4 new colors of boots. Let's get it. Orange, bright green, bright purple, and fluorescent yellow. And they also come with 4 different turtles. The turtles won't be the same green ones you saw in the earlier boots.
Is that going to be bad guy minifigure?
They kind of came in as there'll be the 4 turtles, they'll be coated in bandana colors. The kids still love the turtles.
Well, my house it's too much I'll see too many copies going there.
So he's saying again, if you do go to our website, like Chris alluded to, we got some applause on it. If you do go to our website, if anything's difficult to produce, to assemble, to figure out how to do stunts with the skateboard, almost every toy we come out with, we put an instructional video up on our website, kind of how to play with it, how to assemble it, where to put the labels, smart too when you got trouble. So there's extra resources there if you guys want them. Just go to the website, check it out. Longer versions of our commercials, that sizzle of stop motion animation. You know, we're trying to put some interesting stuff up there and some helpful stuff, so thanks. You would agree.
Yeah, you guys have some great work, thank you. I've loved it since I was really little. And I had a line I really enjoyed was the mini figs, the mini play sets. Those are really awesome because you can't buy all the toys when you're really young. Those little ones you can collect and have a big collection. So, you guys have any plans of maybe somehow incorporating mini figs back in?
Do you work for Mattel or competitor program?
I do not.
No, I would imagine someday they would see the light of day again. There's always a concern that do the small guys cannibalize the big guys. So we tend to wait on it, but you would figure that at some point they will come out.
Second question for you guys. I love the original Metalhead, where his brain allowed light to pass through his eyes. And the new Metalhead, I love it. It's awesome, but it was so cool to see his eyes lighting in. So I bought a custom online where he has a light switch, actually lights up now, but I had to pay a lot of money to find that feature, but I just wanted to maybe somehow bring those eyes back. So that's it.
Well, we haven't thought of that, but we'll definitely look at it, because that ambient light thing is very cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's the coolest feature. So.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We said slow it down. We can angle it. There you go.
Why don't you do some new dating?
Would you like to see him in the show? Yeah. Maybe you'd like to see him in the toy line? Yeah. Let's see if we can get on that.
If he appears in the show, we'll definitely do it.
Okay, so mini me's, right? I collect them and have almost all of them. And I have a catalog from 1994, and it has like the football set, the basketball, and the baseball. And it has a description for soccer, but no picture. And I just want to know if it actually exists.
But soccer.
Huh?
So is there a catalog or something online, or just a color burst that's coming soon soccer or something like that? Is that what
Oh, it's just a 1994 Playmates catalog, and it has pictures of all the sets, and it has a description for soccer, but no picture, and I've never found any proof if it exists or not.
I don't think so. The only soccer I remember us ever doing, well, we did a sports ball, softball, which was very limited, and the soccer sports figure, 4 inches tall, but I don't ever remember doing a mini soccer
prototype or anything like that?
Yeah, it was possible that some of the old catalogs had like images and things that would potentially, or isn't plans can be, but sometimes they actually never got made.
Oh, probably goes as first there's a line list, we're going to do yada 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 soccer, and then we made 2 or 3 of those that already appeared in the catalog, and soccer, to our recollection, was a prototype. Probably there's a 2-dimensional sketch of it somewhere.
Does anybody want to know what I think is the worst turtle player? There are many candidates, believe me. I call it the water baby's turtle. It was my first turtle, which was a water-filled, essentially, bladder. That was the turtle's body, and I'm not even sure we shipped more than a couple thousand pieces, but it was just atrocious. That goes in the wall of shame.
Thank you guys for being fans, but up here we've got our worst all in our minds. We're afraid of being here.
Okay, my question pertains to the packaging for next year. In 2007, when the movie came out, a lot of the toy packages went towards the movie, even if it was 4-kid cartoon toys, like we had on the movie packaging. Are you guys going to do that with the new movie towards the Nickelodeon toys, or are you going to keep the packaging separate like you used to?
Separate.
Awesome.
Already have music. Just wondering if you're going to do anything that are styled after the Mirage comics a few years ago. This line, and then you guys introduce yours and have to style the line. And I just wonder if there's any plans to have this complete yourself.
I would assume the answer is yes. I think we wanted to give a little breathing room between the NECA figures, which, we did a very nice job, and having us go back and do them again. So I think we'll wait a little bit, but we're bound to circle back to that.
Cool, and then, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I think we like to do collectibles, obviously, some of the toys based on the line. What do you guys think of the IDW incarnation?
Just a compliment, like, on the old toys, the packaging, like how every single figure had a different sketch for it, was really cool. So like you showed the turtle man, and you're going to keep the classic art. And that was one of my favorite things back as a kid, was that every figure had its own unique packaging. It'd be cool to see something like that return. Thank you.
Thank you.
brave souls who want to get up there, but I mean, let us ask you guys some. Just shouting out from the field there, are there favorite characters you're seeing in the show that we haven't even hinted at in the toy line yet that you'd like to see?
The Soups Craig.
Karai, we hear you.
Pete the Pigeon.
Pete the Pigeon.
Pete, go ahead, Pete.
It's all right. He's got Norman Grant.
Is that Toxic Man in the series? Is that Toxic Man? Mutant Man? Is that Mutant Man? Mutant Man. Mutant Man.
Would you like to see you?
Human Dexter Stockman. Human Dexter Stockman. No robot, no mutant.
Any others? Karai, we get a couple letters. We've got a couple of very young girls sending us illustrations of Karai. It's nice. It's good to get Van.
Chris Bradford and Zebra. As their human form. Chris Bradford and Zebra.
Well, we got the list of all the characters. We'll just get to them when we can, but it's nice to know above us the top for you guys. Obviously, you guys are the best fans we got. So thanks. Any others continue to shout them out? We're going to pay attention to this guy at the top.
Well, I just want to tell you guys, I think love the line. It's one of my favorite tour lines of 2012 and currently, so thank you. A little bit answer each set of questions. It's so different than me to do. But my main question is, everyone wants to ask this. Love the plastic line was for the rest of my dream. It goes to one of the list for years. What about Shredder? Is that, are we going to see more villains or stunts maybe in the line besides the movie trailers?
Is that Shredder and Splinter from the classic collection line?
Yeah.
The 34-point square ticket?
Yes.
Is there an answer for that, John?
I'm sure you will see both of them in the next 12 months, I would guess.
Oh, yeah.
We get about 5 minutes, and let me throw another question out to the field. A couple more questions. One of them real quick, just for a shout out in the field. Are there any other favorite characters from the canon of Turtles that you'd like to see added to the TV show and hence our line? We heard about Casey earlier.
Cook on Raza! Yeah! I'm sorry.
Who said that?
Toga, thank you, by the way.
General Fred. Our General Track. Nickelodeon people listening in. Unfortunately, the creators of the show, they're fans of the show way back when too, obviously. So they're pulling some real creative stuff out. I'm sure it's out there in the ether. You know, we'll keep an eye on more companies.
Archie Comics.
Yeah, Usagi!
Ninjara.
We love Usagi. I mean, we're hoping to see Usagi also. And plus, Sensei's a great guy, so it's always nice.
From Dome.
I mean, there's stuff obviously we're excited to show you, and there's stuff we're excited to show you sometime in the future. And some of these other ideas, you know, that we'll keep too. There's a lot more coming. You know, there's a lot of good teams working on the stuff, the animated side, and also the toy side. So you guys will like what you see year after year. So let's keep it rolling. Another question for the group, because we got a couple minutes here. You guys are aware of what a brony is, right?
Yes.
And brown coats, is that the other one? Trekkies, trekkers. We've all heard of these. What we don't know is if there are common things that the turtle fans would call themselves. I say, I don't think it's been floating out there on chat.
I've been called a turtlehead before, but...
Turtlehead? Are you insulted by that?
No.
You know.
I've been called a Calabungle.
Stick to turtles. Okay.
You win.
Say, Jeff, this is for all fans or female fans?
Well, at this point we're looking for all fans, but then we're like, you know, we've got this unique paradigm for the first time. The opposite of bronies, that there's, you know, way back maybe 20 years ago, Turtles was maybe 70%, 75% boys action. Boys playing with action figures, 4, 5, 6 years old, maybe more than that. Now there's a lot of girls watching the show, loving the show, collecting the toys, the second generation, the first generation, things like that. Is there any bronies equivalent of what you would call, you know, a girls' turtle fan or something like that? Because we definitely want to welcome them in, you know. So we haven't had any. Do did. Okay, you know, we just haven't had it, so I think the chat board should open up with something like that, and try to find something that
Shell raisers.
the world out there, you know, can agree with. So these are things we wrestle with, we don't think it's ours to name, so, you know, just out there thrown into the, crowd.
Gerard, you want to yell out your term?
We heard a term earlier called girdles.
How about Shelley?
Shelley Fox. Is your daughter? Is your family?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's father, turtle man, yeah. Shelley is good. I like the sound of that. Very cute.
Yeah, it's very cute.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, anything else you got from out there, let us know. Questions, you can rush out from the floor. Applause, tomatoes. We're going to wrap it up here in a minute or two. So, yes, sir. Shout out to Ellison and let everyone hear you. So, you have a question first? Yeah.
Hear me? Have you ever thought about doing a build-a-figure?
Yeah. You almost did.
Now, Build-A-Figure, correct?
Yeah.
Are you thinking in a bionicle kind of way? Are you thinking?
And add on to the regular figure assortment.
Marvel, they put pieces in with other action figures to get scale.
Like
Leatherhead or Baxter Stockman as robot form would have been pretty cool in a Build-A-Figure, because then you could have gotten, larger scale to...
It's a time to experiment. I think the hard part is, you sell the regular figure and go, okay, instead of $8.99 or $7.99, you now buy this at $12.99 for your extra piece. You're building in some extra cost. It's great for the collectors who want to buy that all, and then buy the whole assortment and build the fifth or sixth guy. It's great. So it's something we thought about. Not a place where just to keep our lower figures collectible.
But may see it in some form.
All right. Question?
One, thank you for that whole sleep work you played earlier. Really fun memories, being a kid. It's not really a toy question, but I was kind of wondering if you knew the movies come out, if you knew it was done in the style of the 2007 movie or the Nickelodeon cartoon.
Question is whether we knew product on the 2007?
Well, no, the movie is just style after the 2007 movie or the style after the new Nickelodeon cartoon, just because of...
You know what? Really, we cannot talk about the movie in any form or fashion. All we can say is, we've read the script, we've seen the reference, and I think everybody's going to be really happy with what they see.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks a lot for coming, guys.